Alright, so I played a game, but the recording software did not work. I'm a little crunched on time, so I'm just going to rip through the analysis real quick. Let's see. So, queens-gambit. Oh boy, browser is not liking this. Queens-gambit denied, or declined. So, when our opponent defends with a piece rather than with a pawn, we take. Easy enough. Development proceeds, I think, pretty normally. We're sort of chasing this knight around. Nothing too crazy. I think probably e5 wasn't the best move here, because the knight does have a safe square to get to. Often you can like trap the knight if they travel to e4 like this, and you play f3, that traps the knight. All of the squares that they could go to are attacked. And then those two. But that did not happen this game, as we can see. Moving forward, development, just looking to get castled, as quickly as possible. 3 is good. 6 is good. Castles. This computer is not handling the combination of recording software and a browser open very well. This is interesting. So a4 is a miss. I think here we had the opportunity to develop additional pieces, but I didn't do that in favor of playing a4. I think, I honestly don't know what I was thinking here. I was not narrating during the game because I knew that the streaming software didn't work. So I just played through the game, making a handful of mistakes. Oh well. Opponent castles. We're developing. And I just want to get to the first big blunder here so I can take a gander at that. d5 is good. b6 is good. Bishop to g5. And an accuracy, I think I saw that this square was defended twice by both of our knights, and I was like, oh, that's great, I can launch an attack. My thinking being that if they take, then we have a really wonderful attack on black's king side. But of course they didn't take. That would have been a wild miss. They develop attacking us. This is the blunder. I think I was thinking attacking take our rook and then attacking here with check. I think eventually wins us a piece, but of course it didn't happen that way. This is a common tactical motif that I miss, is failing to account for the order in which, or the piece with which our opponent recaptures a piece. So in this case they recapture with the pawn rather than taking the rook immediately. I launch this attack, just poor decision making on my part. And then they take the rook and take back with the king. Okay, so that's that. Missed sort of tactical opportunity on my end. But our opponent also missed, let me see if I can find it, as we're sort of slogging through this laggy review. a6 is a miss. Chasing king around there. Knight. Here we go. They had a big miss here. I come up forking their pawn and their rook, just hoping to get some material for the knight that I lost. And they just completely ignore the threat. So I get a rook for free. That's check. They have to move their king out of the way. I notice here as well that the queen and the king are aligned, and I've got a rook conveniently positioned in a1. So rook takes a4. They ignore this threat as well. Big miss. And then rook to a7, pinning the queen to the king. I guess they don't need to address this threat necessarily, because I didn't have a way to get the king away from the queen. But so we just take the queen, and then the game sort of fell over pretty quickly from there. We clean up a number of their pieces. I think at the very end, let's see. Let's skip through this. Come on. Just snapping up pieces, advancing a pawn. We have a protected passer on the b file. I probably missed an opportunity for checkmate here, just because their king is so exposed. Fork their king and their knight. Grab a pawn. Grab another pawn. Here, this is fine. We have such an advanced passer that we can trade the last of their pieces for a queen. I think this is fine. Promote up. I promoted to a rook just to sort of show how a king-rook checkmate works. So push the f4 pawn just to get the pawn off the board. I don't want any extraneous pieces on the board while I'm doing this checkmate. You don't want to accidentally stalemate yourself. Unlikely to happen with a pawn, but I think still good practice. So, and then what I'm doing here, so we have the rook on the board. And then what I want to do is box in the opponent's king. So what I do is I play rook to e8, sort of creating this box outside of which our opponent's king cannot escape. And the plan is to make that box smaller and smaller and smaller until we have them pushed against the side of the board. In this case, we're pushing them towards either the H file or the 8th rank. And then our opponent's plan to survive as long as possible is hopefully get outside of the box. If I made a mistake like king to e3 here, they would be able to sort of skip out to greener pastures, to this larger, more open side of the board. But they don't do that. We're able to start squeezing in the box. So rook to e3 makes the box a little bit smaller, smaller vertically in this case. So I have a number of misses. I'm sure I could have done this tactically more accurately. But you see, we shrink the box, shrink the box. Our opponent moves off to the H file, and we can pin them on the H file. I guess pin is an overloaded term. We can restrict their movement to the H file with rook to g4 here, so the king cannot move anywhere but the H file. Get a rook out of the way, and then the plan now is to get our king opposite the opponent's king, and then it's our turn. So if we move here, this would be a mistake. If we move to f5, that would be a mistake because they would be able to move up or down to get out of opposition with their king. So we move one square off opposition, and what's going to happen is they're going to move up, 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 and we'll move up, up, up. They will have nowhere to go, so they have to move back into opposition with their king, and then we deliver checkmate with rook to h1. Let's see what that looks like. Chasing each other's kings. They hit the edge of the board, delaying checkmate as long as possible. They move into opposition with their king. These three escape squares are all covered by our king, and we deliver checkmate with rook to h1. Easy as that. So that's all from me today. See you next time. And stop recording.